What's going on YouTube? So General Motors has really been on a tear recently with introducing a lot of new products, and this Blazer EV is one of their newest crossovers. However, they're already making some changes this year, the most important of which is the introduction of this Blazer EV SS. And this is actually the fastest SS model they have ever made. So we want to know, is this the Camaro SS of SUVs for a price less than you might expect? Well, let's go ahead and find out. Alright, so let's talk real quick about some basic specifications of this SS. You're looking at a 102 kilowatt hour lithium ion battery pack. It's paired with dual motor all-wheel drive, making a very impressive 615 horsepower.
Now, the base price for the Blazer EV SS is $60,000, and you do still have the availability of a tax credit. If you're looking to buy one or any new vehicle, we'd encourage you to go to carconfections.com/newcarquotes to get the best price. Now, the base price of the Blazer EV SS is a hair over $60,000, and you do still qualify for the federal tax credit. And if you're looking to buy one or any new vehicle, we'd encourage you to go to carconfections.com/newcarquotes to get the best price.
But let's go ahead and close up the hood so we can take a look at the bold exterior design. So let's kick things off here with the exterior design. Now, obviously, as you can see, this is a very bold look. The Blazer EV has always had that bold design, but when we're talking about the SS, we're really ratcheting things up another notch. So you'll notice with the grille, everything is going to be a little bit more aggressive in its overall shape. So we've got the full blacked out treatment all across through here. You've got the blacked out bow tie, and then down here on your lower fascia, you have some more aggressive bits than the normal model. Now, obviously, another big part of the front design is the lighting. So you're going to continue to have that nice light bar that goes all the way across the front. That's going to connect in with our standard projector LED headlights. And of course, these do have animations when you enter and exit the vehicle. Now, moving to the wheels, the SS is going to get you a very large 22-inch alloy. This is a contrast design. I think it looks really nice and sharp. Of course, also important is what they've done to enhance the performance. You can notice behind there, we've got Brembo brakes giving you that nice maximum braking performance, and this is also equipped with summer performance tires. Now, in terms of design, we've got the gloss black finish that traces around the wheel arches. I think it really pops against a bright paint color such as this. This is habanero orange. It's a new color for 2025, and it is very bright, I can tell you that. Now, taking a look at our mirrors, they've got a nice contrast black finish, and they're fully equipped with all the features you expect, including blind spot monitoring, power folding, and auto dimming here on the driver's side.
Now, at the side of the Blazer EV, we come in at 192.2 inches in overall length. The SS is about 0.6 of an inch longer just due to overall design differences. And as far as other design differences, you may notice that we have a very aggressive look. Part of that is because we have the blacked out two-tone roof. That is a new option here on the SS. It looks really fantastic. I'd highly recommend getting that, especially because you have blacked out window surrounds and the blacked out roof rails up top. I think it looks really, really nice. Now, as we head around to the rear, I also think this area of the Blazer EV looks really nice. I thought it looked nice in the standard version, and the SS just kind of beefs things up and makes it look a little bit more aggressive. So you'll notice up top we have a very aggressive spoiler through here. It has a really cool shape to it. We have a wiper as well. As we drop down to the taillights, we do have a clear lens, and these are going to be full LED taillights. So you have the LED brake light, the LED reverse light, and the turn signal indicator. Of course, it does also have animations. And then, of course, you have your Blazer branding. You do have new SS branding here on the side. And speaking of the SS changes, look down here at the lower diffuser. Even though we're not going to have exhaust outlets as you might be used to with SS products, it does have a very aggressive look to it. A lot of additional elements have been added down here. It is worth noting that the SS model cannot tow, so do be aware of that. Now we are out here at Charlotte Motor Speedway, as you might be able to see, but a lot of the time that you'll be driving this vehicle is on the road. So what about your safety system? So when it comes to that area, Chevy is including every single active safety feature as standard equipment on the Blazer EV lineup. However, when you choose this fully loaded SS example, you'll also get standard Super Cruise. So that's a really nice touch that they are throwing in on this model. But guys, there's a really cool interior that I can't wait to show you. But first, if you're new here, we're brothers and we've been reviewing cars since we were 12
and 16. We started young, and since then we've reviewed over 2,000 cars at every price point.
No matter what you're looking for, from sound level readings to cargo measurements, we'd love for you to subscribe to be a part of our Car Confections family.
Let's learn a lot and have some fun with all the latest cars. All right, now let's move on to the interior. First, here's our key fob. It's your typical Chevy key fob. You do have the ability to precondition the cabin as well. And it is a smart entry system, so just press that silver button there and that will lock and unlock the door. Now, let's take a look inside the interior. As you can see, we've got a very modern space with all the latest and greatest technology and design elements, which are inspired by things such as the Camaro. But first, let's talk about the seats. So the SS is going to get you the fully loaded seat, which is an Evo Tex, a leatherette trimmed seat, and then the center section is going to be finished in this suede insert. This is going to help you with grip when you're cornering aggressively. And then, of course, you'll notice we've got a lot of color accents here. So you've got the orange accents going through the seat itself, and the seat belt is orange accent. It's a very nice looking seat. I like how many types of designs and textures they have going on. You can also get a darker color if you want. Down below here, we've got a 10-way power adjusting seat with our 2-way lumbar support, and you also have memory seats on the door trim as well. But let's go ahead and get fully inside. So as you can see, I went ahead and hopped in and the vehicle fired up automatically. There's no push to start or anything like that. And now that we're inside, let's go ahead and look at the rest of the cabin materials. So over here on our door trim, just like the seats, you have a mixture of a leatherette and a suede down here at the bottom. We have a textured trim through the center section and then a leatherette across the top with the stitching details. The upper dash is all nicely finished. You have the circular vents there, which look really cool, and again, kind of like the Camaro. You have the carbon fiber look trim through there, and then more of the leatherette and suede down here on the console for your knee to rest against. Well, let's hop into some individual details of the interior. We'll begin with our gauge cluster. Now, the display itself is the same as the other EV Blazers, so it's an 11-inch digital display here, fully customizable. As you can see right now, though, what we have it set up with is some specific track performance gauges. Basically, those are going to be included with this SS version, so you can time your 0 to 60, check the G meter, all types of cool things like that. Furthermore, the SS does come standard with a huge head-up display that's absolutely enormous, contains a ton of information, is super crisp. Really have been digging that. Pulling back to the steering wheel, we've got a nice leather-wrapped steering wheel, flat bottom design with SS branding. It is manual tilt and telescoping, and it does have steering wheel heating and, of course, Super Cruise button that Mason was talking about earlier. As far as interior storage, you have really nice packaging and plenty of storage on board. We'll look at the center console first. So when I open that up, you'll notice it's a very deep bin. There's a little bit of a rubber lining down there at the bottom. We don't have our donuts with us today here in Charlotte, but we do look forward to testing this out fully when we get them back home, because we couldn't bring those donuts with us on this trip. Nevertheless, up in front of that, we've got our wireless phone charging pad, 2 cup holders. Slide that back, you have a ridiculously deep bin right there for all types of things, and even another storage cubby right there. So really you have a ton of different places where you can stick things inside of this vehicle, making it practical in addition to high performance. As far as the shifter, you have the column electronic shifter. When we go into reverse, you'll see that we have the 360 camera. That's standard on the SS grade, and you can switch between a few different views right over there. Just press the end of the stalk there for park. Now moving on from that, you've got your Pretty cool 3-vent effect, and then you have the actual climate controls physically rendered right above it, so you can quickly adjust your temperature with the dual zone automatic setup there. You can also take some manual controls through there if you prefer. In addition, you might be noticing that we have both heated seats and ventilated seats. I'm pretty impressed to see that even when we have the suede inserts in the seats themselves to still have ventilation, and it is automatic. It works with the climate control. Before I get into the main screen, I also want to talk about the audio system. This has an enhanced 8-speaker Bose sound system, and we'll go ahead and give that a sample right now. Overall sound quality is pretty good. In typical Bose fashion, it's going to be very bass heavy, but it is an improvement over the standard 6-speaker sound system on the other trim levels. Alright, so now let's zero in on our very large 17.7-inch display. You might have seen this on some other recent Chevy and GM products. It's a very large display, and it's got their latest and greatest software on board. So of course, critical to this system is what's built in. You have Google Apps built right into it, so you can do things like look at Google Maps natively inside of the system. You can also get in the Google Play Store, and the overall performance is very snappy. Of course, one thing you want to know is, does it have wireless Android Auto or Apple CarPlay? It does not, because this is an electric General Motors product, so those products do not have those systems built into them natively anymore. Rising above, we've got the auto-dimming mirror with the camera system, and you have your HomeLink remotes as well. And then, let me go ahead and slide back the sunshade for our panoramic sunroof. As you can see, this is a pretty large piece of glass, and then unlike a lot of rival EVs, you can actually press that button right there and open up the front panel.
And now let's talk about the rear seat area for this Blazer EV SS. Now, of course, that doesn't change really for SS duty. You're still going to have the same practical rear seat, even despite the performance, which we're about to talk about. So that means we have about 39 inches of both leg and headroom. Those are actually quite good figures, especially if you compare it against some of the electric options you may be cross-shopping. And really, like I said, 39 inches of legroom, very, very impressive overall. Now, as far as how much knee room we have, this seat is adjusted to Drew, who is 5'8". I am 5'9" for reference. 9.5 inches of knee space. That is very impressive. Also, my feet can easily slide up underneath of the seats. And these seats I do find to be decently comfortable. They have that same kind of suede material back here, as well as the orange seat belts. It looks really quite nice. The seats themselves do recline. Just be aware it's only going to be a tiny bit, so it doesn't recline very much. As far as the center armrest, we have 2 cup holders inside. We're also going to have vents here in the center section to keep you nice and cool. 2 charging USB ports. These are Type-C USBs. And we have heated back seats as standard equipment here on the SS version of the Blazer EV. If you look over at the door trim, it's going to be made of pretty nice materials. You're missing on the leatherette from the front part up here, so this is going to be a hard touch. However, most of the rest of the door trim is leatherette or a suede. We also have a decent amount of bottle storage down on the bottom. Now let's go ahead and check out how much cargo capacity you have on board. We do have a power tailgate as standard equipment here on this SS Blazer EV, and let's talk about those space figures. I think you'll be very pleasantly surprised with this as well, especially considering its performance. So we're looking at about 25 cubic feet behind the second row, 59 cubic feet if we fold those seats down. Those are very competitive space figures for this segment. And by the way, if you're maybe looking at cross-shopping this against a gas counterpart in this mid-size SUV segment, we'd encourage you to go to carconfections.com/vehicle rankings. Now, the reason you do that is because we've gone through all the gasoline 2-row mid-size SUVs, and we've categorized them based on the different categories that might matter most to you as a mid-size SUV shopper, such as cargo space, technology, space, and luxury features. You can find all of that on our website, so we definitely recommend you utilize that tool to stay informed and make an informed buying decision. Now, back to the Blazer EV SS. In order to fold the second row seats, they fold 60-40 split, and there are not any handles, so I do have to kind of just reach up here push this little button. It's actually not that hard to do, and it kind of propels itself forward, which is kind of cool. As you can see, it makes a pretty flat loading floor, and it's a Car Confections review after all, so you know what we do. We get our cargo length, width, and height figures in case you're looking to haul something specific. 73 inches of cargo length behind Drew's 5'8" driving position. From behind the second row of seats, 31 inches of length. The opening, really good, 46 inches wide. And height, 27 inches tall. If you're curious about cargo load and height, that's pretty good, 29 inches. That's pretty short for an SUV. Now, if we lift up the cargo floor, you'll find quite a bit of additional space down here. Be aware there is no spare tire for the Blazer EV. Additionally, there is not a frunk, even though this is an electric product.
Now let's go ahead and talk a little bit about performance. And of course you can see what is under the hood. As Mason was mentioning, we don't have a frunk on this model because it's jammed full of electrical components. Now as far as the SS is concerned, obviously this is the top dog. So what is this made out of? Well, it gets the large battery pack, so it's 102 kilowatt hour lithium ion battery pack. That's going to produce, with dual motor all-wheel drive, 615 horsepower and 650 pound-feet of torque. That is when you're in the WOW, or wide open watts drive mode, kind of maximizing your overall performance. That's going to be good to give you, according to Chevy, a 0 to 60 of only 3.4 seconds, making this the fastest SS product they have ever made. Now, of course, we still need to talk about practical things such as range. So if you kind of come over here to our charge port, you've got the very large door right here, which power opens up. And in terms of this, you're looking at a very impressive range of 303 miles according to the EPA, which is well ahead of something like the EV6 GT. Now also, in terms of your charging, this can charge up to 190 kilowatt DC fast charging, so that's relatively fast in terms of the overall charge rate, and that will give you about 79 miles of range in 10 minutes on a DC fast charger. Now obviously Chevy has also made other enhancements to the chassis, the suspension, things like that, and we can't wait to show you the overall performance of this model, but you're going to have to wait just a little while longer. This vehicle in this beautiful orange color, we wanted to show it to you guys out here in the sunlight, go through all the features and talk about the specifications as quick as possible, but you're going to have to wait a little bit longer to the date down below for us to share those driving impressions, since we are under a driving impressions embargo. But believe me, you're going to want to set your calendar to that date down below so you can come back to our channel and check it out.
And let's talk pricing. As Drew said at the very beginning, this honestly carries a price that might be more attractive than you would think, especially for this SS version. So we're starting at $60,600, which of course represents the most expensive Blazer EV you can get. However, it is worth noting there really aren't very many options that you can get on this model, and it also still is qualifying for the $7,500 tax credit at the current time of us filming. Of course, that depends on a variety of factors, so you have to ask your accountant back home if that applies to you, but that definitely makes for a quite a bit of a more affordable price tag than you might expect for something with over 600 horsepower. Now, if you're looking to buy a Blazer EV SS or any new vehicle, we'd encourage you to go to carconfections.com/newcarquotes. Now, the reason you do that is because we have a tool on our website that connects you with local car dealers in your area to get you the best price. It's also going to give you access to invoice pricing information, which is a great tool for dealership negotiation and can really help the dealers to start competing on price. We even have a monthly payment tool, so we definitely recommend you go to carconfections.com/newcarquotes and take advantage of that tool. And guys, that wraps up our in-depth part 1 of this Blazer EV SS review. Of course, we can't wait to show you part 2 later on. And if you're new to the channel, we'd really encourage you to hit that subscribe button down below. By subscribing, you're going to be a part of our Car Confections family, where we do a lot of cool car reviews such as this, and a lot of other vehicles as well. So if you're not interested in performance side of things, we do mainstream products as well. If you're already a part of our family, thank you so much for your continued support, and we'll catch you next time as we sample more of the latest automotive delicacies.